one of the most interesting aspects of musky fishing that I've noticed over the last probably 4 or 5 years is how much muskies really position themselves in key spots. Year after year, we have filmed a lot of the musky segments within our TV shows, videos, etc. on the same spots. Year after year, a lot of fish set up, positioned on the exact same spots. And now when I mean the exact same spots, I mean the exact same casts. When the wind conditions and structural conditions are right, the wind's blowing in on a certain point, that's where those fish will set up. And it's year after year, they're different fish. So it goes to show you that good spots are good spots. Finding a lot of these spots, per se, like milk run type spots, is a part of the big puzzle in catching muskies with any type of consistency. Them being a top of the line predator, year after year, once you isolate those particular areas that those fish use, they'll be there. And the whole thing is just being there at the right time. It's unbelievable.
A little bit more. Okay, that's pretty good. Hi everybody, I'm Dan Sura, and today I'm fishing with my longtime friend and fishing partner Tim Besh. And over the years, I can't tell you how many hundreds of lakes we fished cold turkey. We knew very little about the body of water, but you know what? We could always manage to catch a few fish. It's a simple process. I don't care where you fish all across North America or even what species of fish you're after. The fun of it is the process, going out and dissecting the lake, eliminating dead water, and that's what we're going to show you how to do. Tim, bring her back. Let's go, bud. Hitting the water with a game plan can make the difference between a sound skunking or big fish with high fives, smiles, and photos. Basic strategy is identifying a couple major structural elements like a large bar, main lake point, sunken hump, or other obvious structure. To start the hunt, we hit the local bait shop and grabbed the best map available, and then located the largest food shelves in the lake because they often hold the biggest and most fish. This point sticks far out into the basin of the lake. It should be a prime point for collecting baitfish too at this time of the year.
Here, Dan, there's a couple of points sitting right here on this food shelf that looks great. Check it out.
Here, take a look at this. There's obviously a few spots that really jump out at you here, but for my money, this structural configuration consisting of an extended flat, a couple of bars, and a couple of hard bottom humps out here is where I'm going to begin. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to begin trolling some of these larger areas just to eliminate dead water, looking for active fish, and just becoming familiar with the structure so we can come back and fish it slower. Maybe we can cast it, live bait it, whatever, a little bit later on. But it'll give us a familiarity with the structure and looking for active fish.
Okay, what I'm going to do is run this deep diving crankbait on the outside edge of this so I can cover the deep areas of this flat, and then Dan, you can run something shallower up on top.
Okay, we're coming right on the edge here, Tim. Actually, what I'm doing right now, I'm just snake trolling along the edge here to get a feel for the structure. You can see it's dropping off right there. I'm going to turn back in, and I'm just getting a feel for how this structural element is laid out. You know, we happen to be fishing for muskies today, and we've picked this major structural element because it's got cover and hopefully the presence of bait fish and some big fish on it. But I guarantee if I was looking to fish this lake for bass, I'd probably pick the same element. It's got cover and good food. And one thing to consider when eliminating dead water and looking at a body of water, where you start, pick the major structural element and look for the species of fish you're chasing somewhere on it. Chances are pretty good you're going to make a hookup. We're looking for a combination of different specific elements that will attract and hold fish. First, always look for the presence of prey because big schools of bait fish often attract large predators, whether the bait is suspended in open water or hugging the edge of a major structural element. What next? Well, trolling enables us to quickly isolate points and pockets that form edges where big fish corral bait fish to chow down on. As we troll, we're making mental notes of the specific locations of the heaviest weed patches, rock piles, or areas where there are sharp drop-offs, because we're going to come back later and cast these key spots thoroughly. You know, by running this, I got a pretty good idea of the general lay of the land. Now I'm going to run back up and we're going to fish some of those key little subtle spots, just in case the fish are up on that inside roll and not out on the edge.
Dan, what are you going to be throwing?
Yeah, I'm going to cast a bucktail.
Okay, what I'm going to do is, on this particular spot that we're on here, we got a nice inside turn in here. It drops down some nice deep water with a whole wall of weeds on the edge of it. So what I'm going to do is come back in there and hook up this jig and minnow combination right here, so I can work the edge while Dan works the top of it with a bucktail.
You know, until we establish a pattern on exactly what the fish are going to chew on today, we're doing kind of opposite ends of the speed spectrum. Tim's using very meticulously slow and subtle presentation, and I'm throwing this bucktail. And I don't care, if you're fishing largemouth bass, somebody could be throwing say a buzzbait up on top, and the other guy could be throwing a jig and pig and fishing it a little slower. So until you establish that pattern, give the fish a choice.
This spot is so good, it's scary.
Folks, the bite was slow over the course of the day and a half Tim and I fished. They weren't exactly jumping in the boat. And fact is, we only boated 3 fish, but they were all big. 1 bass, 2 muskies, one of which was my largest ever, a real elephant. Let's take a close look at where each fish was positioned. Tim's big bass came from a classic fall spot. She was holding on a heavy weed edge on a drop-off where the deep water slot funneled between 2 points.
Big bass! Oh, man. Oh,
Oh, man.
Out of that deep cabbage.
Yep, he came right down on the edge. Look, he just pumped it straight down.
Huge.
Wow, look at the size of that fish.
There he is, Dan. All right, I got
Then
it.
Tim's 20-pound muskie came from one of the sunken humps. The ski was holding just off the side with the sharpest drop. And guess what? Adjacent to the hump, there was a big school of suspended bait.
He looks like something pretty good. Watch it, he's rolling. Oh, this was great. Trolling out here on this big food shelf out here. And as we were trolling our baits along there, we came off the edge of it and ran right up onto the sunken hump. We stopped, started casting towards it. Whammo, there he was. Got him. Nice job. All right.
My big muskie was positioned on a small secondary point. This spot, like many, many key spots, was not on the map. We located it by trolling and decided to cast the spot thoroughly. On the top of the point was a heavy isolated patch of cabbage weed near a break that quickly plunged into 25 feet of water. In combination with baitfish, this is a major league big fish area. Hey, believe it or not, we saw 3 other muskie between 20 and 30 pounds along this stretch of water.
Hard work, man. Look at him. Oh, man.
Like strapped in a line. Beauty.
All right, get the cradle ready. Take a look at this fish, folks. Big food shells, big fish. What more can I say? I gotta put her back.